Hey, welcome to Ken's Conversation. I'm Kenny,
I'm Ken.
and we're here to talk about something a little seasonal since tis the season.
Well, maybe it's seasonal, and that's what we're going to decide.
Well, so the real question that we want to ask is should Christmas music be playing right now before Thanksgiving?
I vote no.
I vote no.
Registered.
Sacrilegious.
Registered no voters for playing music before Thanksgiving.
And the reason we brought this up because it happens every single year, and we just want to get down to like what makes people want to well how we think, but what makes people want to listen to music just like we haven't even thought about trying to set up for Thanksgiving. Of course, now being 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, there may or not be that easy of a Thanksgiving dinner.
We might have COVID turkey.
Yeah. Um so but even pre COVID, it's just ridiculous on how many people want to listen to music
Maybe
before.
maybe it's the infusion now with pumpkin spice and cinnamon everywhere. And just like tryptophan in turkeys makes you sleepy, maybe the pumpkin spice and the cinnamon smells
Maybe.
makes people have some kind of back brain function dysfunction that says, I must have Christmas.
So what you're
music."
saying is the food companies are at this conspiracy to trick you into getting more hungry and tired.
No, to play Christmas music.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, so specifically Christmas music.
Yes.
Okay.
Christmas music. So the holiday. I'm sorry, it's not a holiday. Of Halloween just passed, right?
Yeah.
So Halloween passed, and you didn't hear anybody say, "Oh, let's play something like Michael Jackson's Thriller and Jingle Bells." No,
No,
nobody
it's-
does that.
it's either
Why
one or
don't
the
they
other.
do that? Well, it's because maybe it's just too early. They've got to get past that scary Day of los Muertos. They've got to get it behind them.
It's a possibility, but I also brought up this article from uh, News Snow, and there's a little bit of I don't know contradicting views, like where a let's see interview with clinical psychologist Linda Blair said music goes right to our emotions immediately and it bypasses reality, quote unquote. Much of this, Blair told Sky News, is due to the stresses that come with holiday season. It might make us feel that we're trapped. It's a reminder that we have to buy presents, cater for people, organize celebrations. Blair said in an interview, some people will react to that by making impulse purchases, which the retailer likes. Others might just walk out of the shop. It's a risk. However, we get another viewpoint from a Dr. Rhonda Freeman, has a more balanced approach towards Christmas music. She said in the interview with NBC News that for some, the music is a reminder of the joy of the holiday season. When the brain makes these associations with something very positive and pleasurable, the reward system is being activated, which triggers a number of chemicals, including, can you say this word? The one I'm looking at right here.
Where dopamine?
Dopamine. But for others, Freeman said the reward system can also be associated with pain. For that population, Christmas songs can be very painful to hear. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Not
Uh,
that kind of pain. Oh, of course, the first article that you were reading was by who?
This article I got from
Who was the first?
who was the first interviewer?
Yes.
Was a Linda Blair.
Linda Blair. Now, is that the actress who was in The Exorcist? No.
Is she a psychologist at the same time?
No,
That'd
I
be
don't know.
interesting.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah. Hi, baby.
He's not talking to me.
Yeah, I'm talking to my dog. Eat it. Eat it. Okay. She's trying to get these carrots off me, and she's licking in.
I'm looking at another article.
take it.
Just not going to read the article. It's just a headline from Snopes that says Congress reportedly passed a law banning the playing of Christmas music before Thanksgiving.
Who did that?
Congress.
All of Congress,
No.
or
This is just a Snopes thing. Snopes reports funny stuff. Anyway,
well, I also took a survey amongst my friends, and I won't say who, so you won't banter at each other.
John and Jim and Jim and Judy and George.
But and this it was pretty slim, but it's pretty much 45% of my friends said yes, and 55% of my friends said no. And I also want to put in my vote for that, and you want to put in your vote for that, and Uncle, your brother will put in his
My
vote.
uncle
for,
brothers.
Yeah, Uncle brother, put in his vote for it. So there's definitely
So the 45% really your friends?
Yeah. So does that make you think, like, if we looked at that statistic and then amplified it to everybody else, I wonder what what the actual percentage is if we surveyed everybody in the United States.
How many total responses did you
Well, I won't say it's big, but it's 11.
11. So 1,100, 1,177 of the population.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably just a good sampling, right? You've got roughly a sampling of percentage of the population, very small percentage. But I would say that that's pretty close to how everybody feels. And it'd be interesting to do the survey in a non-pandemic year.
Yeah.
Are people voting yes because, or no, are they voting no because they want to hear Christmas music now to give them a little extra hope to look forward to, something different as opposed to what's been going on. But it like you said in the articles here, and these psychiatrists and psychologists were saying that it gives people a fuzzy, warm feeling. It's kind of hard to do. Also, we've grown up in an area where it's typically colder in winter. Snow is possible, as opposed to, I don't know, say southern Florida or Ecuador or Texas, southern Texas or Arizona. Probably not so used to having cold winters, right? So for us, it's also a visual and a feel. It's not just a sound to kind of get us into the spirit. Of course, today is supposed to be 78 degrees. So here we are in November.
Here we are in Tennessee, the most mildly weathered state.
Yeah, it's and tomorrow's going to be 80 degrees. So it's hard to get out in the woods. The leaves are changing. And be sweating.
Yeah.
but it kind of depends on what everybody's used to, because we could have listeners that are in various locations across the world listening to our podcast, and they're going to run into what's normal for them, right?
So you were originally from Ohio. What was the norm, since I considered Ohio more of a northern state? What was the norm as far as Midwest? What was the typical, like, November season in that area?
Just like here, leaves wise, the leaves changing on the trees, but cooler. I mean, it's jacket weather, sweater weather. You might be able to take your jacket off and wear a fashionable flannel shirt, long sleeve shirt.
Yeah,
you're wearing long sleeve stuff and long pants.
I like flannel shirts
for the most part during the daytime, and then as evening draws near, it's cool, and you got to wear something maybe a little more substantial than a windbreaker. Midweight jacket or something.
But there has never been like snow.
Oh, there has.
There has been.
Oh yes.
But so going again, like what you're saying, maybe the effect. I know that some states already had snow this past couple of weeks,
right?
And maybe to them that's like, well, that's already Christmas effect looking, because we've made TV advertisements, we've made stories to where, like, anything that has white, and then a contrast of darkness, when it's dark outside, because it gets darker now in the evenings, and every time we advertise something, there's like a glimpse of a light or a manger or a farmhouse with like a little bit of fire, and it just has that nice warming ambiance effect. And it's just like, why don't you come near the fire and lay down?
Oh, so rest? It makes you feel a little bit like this. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, why don't you just come over here and sleep around the fire? Well, I was gonna say the blanket made by teddy bears.
No, that's true. So,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite Christmas songs.
Who is it?
Little snap of Barry Manilow and KT Oslin singing "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Oh, the classic.
Yeah, there's different versions of it, but I think that they absolutely do the best job of it.
Do you think that song caught more popularity because of Elf when he was singing in the showers with her? Because that was the only time I saw it. I don't know.
In a movie or something,
Yeah,
broadcast, maybe, but I'm older, so
that's true.
you know, the pop music of Barry Manilow. He had smooth voice. He was
Yeah.
kind of like a somewhat modern day Frank Sinatra from a smooth voice, or like
Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé has got a cool,
He just has that smooth transitioning
voice.
voice.
Yeah. Who's the other guy? I can't remember his name.
Frank Sinatra.
No, the other guy sounds like Frank Sinatra. Modern. He had a TV show for a while.
Oh, modern. Don't know.
Oh, shoot. What's the guy's name?
Yeah.
He's from Louisiana. Real handsome looking guy.
Louisiana.
Sorry for the coughs, folks.
It's cold. It's not COVID,
Yeah.
I promise.
It's milk.
Louisiana pop singer?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, what's his name? Well, think of it. He had a TV show. I know everybody's going to know who it is when we find out who it is.
Show. Wayne Brady?
No. He's kind of funny.
Harry Connick?
Yes, Harry Connick Jr. Yep. Super, super smooth voice.
Oh, he is handsome.
Yes. I tell you. But we won't vote on him right now.
Okay. Oh, what are we voting now? Favorite Christmas music?
Oh, we could do favorite. We could have gone down that path for the secondary part of your survey.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite? What's your favorite Christmas song?
Mm-hmm.
What that kind of puts you in the mood?
Yeah.
When it becomes legal.
Yeah.
After the Thursday of Thanksgiving, and on that day you can begin the process of playing Christmas music.
We could probably do something like that. And I also I'm gonna have at least 3 other guys to do to be on our show or on our podcast to ask about Christmas related music stuff, and they're all musicians, so I think that'd be kind of fun. And also just ask, what is your go-to Christmas song when the holidays come around the corner?
Right. So we were talking about Ohio too.
Yeah.
So yes, we would get snow, we get cold weather. Those things kind of make you start to feel. Sometimes we'd have more snow before Christmas than we would on Christmas.
Yeah.
But and it's changed. But those things make you feel like, oh well, Christmas is coming. You get the White Christmas movie and all those other movies that kind of go along with
Right.
kind of getting you in the feeling and the mood. And honestly, I've never really cared one way or the other about the shopping aspect of Christmas. Or I love giving gifts.
Right. And I think we've missed the point about what Christmas is actually about, not necessarily what the world has made it to be.
That's true.
And it's not always about giving. Like, sure, it could be once a year, like, instead of being selfish or do something that's totally free and you don't have to expect anything in return. Well, the problem with that is because it's everyone is in mindset of, well, I got to give someone a gift and blah, blah, blah. That's kind of still owing them, like, well, they got me a gift, then I need to give something back
return,
or something
right?
in
Yeah,
return.
feel obligated.
That's the obligation. That is
That is
an eye for an eye mindset. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be more of like, hey, I got you, new tires for your car because you were getting low. Hey, here's some money because I know you were wanting to get some books for school and you didn't have money for it. So here it is.
And not just at Christmas time. Why do we wait till
Yeah.
From a giving standpoint, we
Yeah.
shouldn't wait for Christmas. As you said, the real reason for Christmas, of course, is that God gave the greatest thing in the world, and that was his son to die for our sins. But
And that's something we can never,
that's
ever repay
through
back.
God's grace. It's just great. What is grace? Grace is something that we are given, but we don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And the little plug for God here is people say, well, I just want God to be fair. No, you don't. I got it. So
I'm also trying to see the histories because we're talking about Christmas. We're not, but I also want to like talk about like
We are the volunteer
What?
state.
What?
When there's a job to do,
that's
we step up and put our
not me.
shoulders into it.
No, it is you,
Like getting our
No.
flu shot.
isn't
can't
it? Oh,
I do it for my friends.
oh,
I do it for my
oh, maybe it was me. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry about
And
that.
we are in Tennessee. We are in the volunteer state. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Brought to you by the
Well,
by
what
the state of Tennessee,
I
which
was-
is a public domain, so we don't have to pay any rights to that.
I was
Commercial.
I
Thank
was just trying to pull up Thanksgiving history. It pulled up the history.com web domain. Maybe I should go here.
you. Or you could go to one of the
I'm trying
free.
to. I'm okay.
Non-obligatory.
I'm not trying.
obligatory.
I'm not trying to dog on Wikipedia,
Who? One of the pedias.
but I don't like that it is it's basically a public domain quote unquote encyclopedia, but it's also geared to where people can fix it at any given point as long as there is enough
Contributors.
as long as enough contributors, and it can be backed up by references. Now the problem with that is not every reference is looked at, cleared, and then finally it goes through probably a council or a committee to make sure that everything is factually checked. And when I was in high school, we were told not to use Wikipedia. We were told to use a very well-known encyclopedia page to find basically more researched works and articles.
And if anyone is in need of encyclopedias, we have a full set that came with the house, sitting right behind you,
We
behind
do?
that wall.
We do? Oh, that's
in
right.
two
that's right.
boxes that have been there for, I think said it was 26 years. They've
Now
been
it's a
sitting
whole
there.
set.
I have not opened them, so I'm assuming it's the whole set.
Okay.
A through Z is how you would
Okay.
look at those encyclopedias.
It's fine with me.
I mean, someone would have to actually open a cover and turn pages. I know that's difficult for some people. You could give your swiping fingers a little rest, and you wouldn't have myopathy with an eye problem by staring at your phone, which is causing eye issues for a new generation of people that look at their phones for hours and hours a day.
So excuse me for being silent. I'm trying to find the history of Thanksgiving because I feel like people have kind of missed the true intent of Thanksgiving to some degree. And like there's some people that think of too much on the history where that it wasn't really geared towards everyone. It was geared towards the colonists that were coming in. It wasn't for everybody. But I think we've kind of missed that point to where it was a gathering of friends and family. Let's see. I'm in an article called Plymouth.org. American Thanksgiving also has its origin in the faith practices of Puritan New England, where strict, Calvinist doctrine sanctioned only the Sabbath, fast days, and Thanksgiving as religious holidays or holy days. To the Puritans, a true Thanksgiving was a day of prayer and pious humiliation, thanking God. Oh, is it pious? Sorry, and pious and pious humiliation, thanking God for His special providence. Auspicious events such as the sudden ending of war, drought, and pestilence might inspire a Thanksgiving proclamation. It was like having an extra Sabbath during the week. Fasts and Thanksgiving never fell on a Sunday. In the early 1600s, they were not annual events, simultaneously instituted in Plymouth, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. Thanksgiving became a regular event by the middle of the 17th century, and it was proclaimed each autumn by the individual colonies. Holiday changed as the dogmatic Puritans of the 17th century involved in the 18th century's more cosmopolitan Yankees. By the 1700s, the emotional significance of the New England family united around a dinner table overshadowed the civil and religious importance of Thanksgiving. Carried by Yankee immigrants moving westward and the popular press, New England's holiday traditions would spread to the rest of the nation.
So it's been around a long time.
It's been around since the colonies, and I was trying to get more in depth, but why don't you tell me your thoughts while I'm looking?
Yeah, it was one of those. Of course, my understanding is early Thanksgiving was being separated from England and Pilgrims. Well, it was probably even before separation of England. Just Thanksgiving for a new land, a new hope, if you will, for being able to not live under the rule of what was going on in England. A lot of people wanted a new life when they came to the new world, if you will. And you see a lot of depictions too with Thanksgivings where it shows the pilgrims and the Indians celebrating and eating together. I would think that actually that picture you're looking at right there is kind of something that I've seen several
All
times.
the time, yeah. I've also seen that when I was in high school, the history books. It's a picture from.
Early 20th century, though.
Is it?
Yep. So it's a cool picture. It's very depictive, I think, in what people's minds of how. For me, that depicts what people think of when they are thinking of how Thanksgiving began. The Pilgrim days. So now you're talking Pilgrim days is before we separated from England. So it was, again, a time to give thanks for the new opportunity, the new world. They had no idea what was in store for them from a not only a difficulty standpoint, but also from the blessings they would receive and generations behind them for coming to the Americas.
Okay. So in the history, I was looking from Britannica, that the Pilgrims had a surprise appearance, from the. All right, Google, you're going to show me how to say this.
Wampanoag.
The Wampanoag tribe.
Oh yeah, they used to call me. They don't call me anymore.
The Wampanoag contributed venison to the feast, which included the fowl and probably fish, eels, shellfish, stews, vegetables, and beer. Since Plymouth had few buildings and manufactured goods, most people ate outside while sitting on the ground or on barrels with plates in their laps. The men fired guns, ran races, and drank liquor, struggling to speak in broken English and.
Wampanoag.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
He's
really
wanting
sorry.
to not destroy the words.
So that was kind of interesting. So that picture kind of depicts on what Thanksgiving, what the true intent was meant to be. It was just after much hard work and probably after some terrible event, people would get together and just eat. And I mean, you can see on the painting here, serving the food. She doesn't have to know the language, but I think every gesture is kind of universal in humanity to know that, hey, do you want to eat with us and all this other stuff.
And they're sharing. The picture we're looking at, if you folks want to look it up online, is an oil painting that is by Jean-Léon Jerome Ferris. I probably butchered that.
Yep.
But it's entitled The First Thanksgiving.
That's a very famous painting that you can find. Just Google first Thanksgiving painting and you'll see it.
This is actually one that's in the Library of Congress, so it's again recognized, I think, as the pilgrims. There's over on the left-hand side, you can see a woman that's inviting another Indian lady to come and join in, because the men are up there up front, and as was typical even in the Indian culture, the women kind of stayed behind a little bit. And then the guy to the right with the blue suit and the big white collar, I think was probably the symbol of the governor. The dress.
This guy?
No, to the left.
To the left. Or you mean to
Your
the right?
military left. That one. No,
This-
military left. See the blue?
This guy?
Right, that guy.
This
Yeah.
guy. Okay. Yeah, he was probably an elder.
Well, again, we're speculating on things that we don't know 100% about. So, just interesting because it does show. There's a little log cabin in the background, kind of depicted there. The other thing that's kind of cool about Thanksgiving is some things that we've done in the past, and we've got only a few weeks to go, so we're going to figure out what we're going to do from a Thanksgiving standpoint. But we have a jar with flags that represent all of the nations represented by guests that we've had in our household over the years for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We've had, just off the top of my head, we've had people from Ecuador, El Salvador, the country of Georgia. I can tell a little quick one about that. And a guy from Italy,
Venezuela.
Chile,
Wasn't there a lady from
Germany,
starts with a B.
Bulgaria.
Was there a lady? No.
No Bulgarians.
No. It was some other.
Mexico,
No.
Uruguay, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
El Salvador. Did we say that?
That's it. Yeah, El Salvador. Trying to think who else.
Iran.
Oh, Iran. And it was funny, the little tidbit about the guy from Georgia was here taking English and was a fellow student of a Chilean guy that we had staying with us that was also learning English. So we invited, somebody who maybe doesn't have family. Like, we don't have family other than ourselves. We don't have family around the Nashville area. So we invited this guy, and I didn't know anything about the country of Georgia other than it's really tiny and it's next door to Russia. And this guy was a lawyer, super nice guy. I remember he also wore a do-rag on his head. He's kind of a young guy. And I said, so what language do you speak in Georgia? Do you speak Russian? And he looked at me with kind of a dirty look and said, no, we don't speak Russian. Russians speak a dialect of Georgian. And I said, oh, well, in the back of my head, I was thinking, you're a little tiny country that's had your rear end kicked quite a bit by the big country of Russia.
So
anyways, he stood his ground and said, hey, we don't do that. But
I hear they kind of argue like, no, they got this from us. No, they got this from us. I'm like, you guys sound similar. Why don't you agree to give it another name?
To agree to disagree.
Give it another name.
Yeah.
Give it a name that basically it's the same. It's all the same, but it's a different dialect.
Right.
Why don't you be like the Spaniards? Okay. Like they got it all together. It's like, yeah, we'll just call it Spanish, but we're going to have different dialect of it.
Well, I'm sure they do. It was just funny that it's like all of Russia, and maybe it did. Maybe, I don't know. This is why I think it was funny, is that.
But it was kind of cool.
Russia emanated out of the Georgian area.
But it was cool that I remember that Thanksgiving we had a ton of people in the dining room, and I don't think we had to have 3 separate tables. We had to use the main table, which was for the adults, and then you had the kiddie table was more into the kitchen area, and then you kind of had like me and a few other teens in the bar stool area.
Yes. There's always a kiddie table.
I know there was.
There was
'cause they were
always,
running around
and
outside.
growing up, our Thanksgivings were typically either at my dad's parents,
Yeah.
at our house, or in Columbus, Ohio, at my aunt and uncle's house, my dad's sister and their family. Hey, cuz,
Mm-hmm.
there's Diane and Tom and
Yeah.
Carol Kirker still live over there. Anyway, we have lots of cousins that we really need to get back in touch with, and of course, COVID traveling is screwing all that up. But it's we've tried to carry on the same tradition. Usually, excuse me. Also have kind of traditional Thanksgiving dinner. There's some debates on food. So I'm going to go down our list. We have typically I'll do a turkey and some stuffing. And then you could do another vote is, do you like stuffing that's bread stuffing that's actually stuffed in the turkey, or would you rather have dressing that is cooked outside of the turkey? You know, there's a lot of homemade dressing. You can get dressing in a box and you can cook it anytime you want to all year long.
Yeah.
It's very cornbread dressing. I use my mom's old simple recipe and take, big full loaf of white bread or combination of bread or whatever, let it sit out overnight, and I make it and stuff it in the turkey. That way I have turkey and stuffing. I usually get a can of cranberry sauce, although I never eat it. It's just, and I do it just like my mom did, cut open both sides of the can and shove it out the other side, and you have a roll of cranberry. It's kind of like, putting jelly on your toast. Then we usually have some kind of rolls of some kind.
Lots of rolls.
Green bean casserole, which
casserole.
mom makes. And then pumpkin pie and pecan pie.
Everyone keeps bringing desserts every time too.
Yeah. Of course, the best thing, kind of like chili, the food this time of year when it's cool outside and you want to make a big pot of chili and have it kind of warm you up. And I never make enough of it. It's better as the days go on. Just like, to me, Thanksgiving and turkey, to me, that's the secondary enjoyable part about having Thanksgiving dinner is the leftovers. I don't get tired of it. I know other people get tired of it. It's like, what are we going to have for breakfast? Turkey. What are you going to have for lunch? Turkey. What are you going to have for supper? Turkey. What kind of snack do you want? Hey, we got some turkey. You want some turkey and pie? So I love it. I like, when turkey, you're stuffed the day of Thanksgiving and then maybe the day after if you're watching parades or Christmas movies or whatever. And then we're back to our subject, right? You kind of start in on the Christmas thing, prepping for the holiday, because now it's only, a month and a half away or less, and month and a week. And some people start putting up their Christmas tree. I'm not a big fan of putting up a Christmas tree during Thanksgiving weekend because there's usually too much other stuff going on. But and not really that it's anything to do with holiday. It goes back to the whole giving thing. But I'm also not one to be a part of the madness of Black Friday.
Which that's going to be an interesting, because nobody or not nearly enough people are going to be doing that kind of tradition and waiting outside in the cold and waiting at midnight or whatever to get the latest and greatest deals. I think because my work is actually looking into that, and when I was doing some research to get prepped up for that market, there was already a whole bunch of retailers that has already started Black Friday, but it's basically Cyber Monday, but throughout the month, and they have different sales each week. So they do like a special thing for special products, and then they would basically, they would basically get one or two things that week, and then they would sell it, and then they would go the next week and start selling that stuff, and so on and so forth. So, but I don't know if there's going to be any retail stores that's going to test the, hey, come on here and get your stuff while it lasts, because of the whole COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, the box carrying companies, the UPSs and the FedExes are ramping up personnel just like it's any other year.
Yeah.
Probably more so, I would say.
They're
just from a delivery
they're probably
standpoint.
getting ready right now.
And Amazon's hiring, and other delivery entities out there on the internet are ramping up. If anything else, I would say sales are probably already have been up from anything that's ordered online, but I think this year will probably be a blowout of money-making events for anybody that's online, because people will use the excuse to not go out, although you'll have the diehards that will still go out and they'll still intermingle. Not offending anybody out there. You have to do what you need to do and what you need to do to feel safe. But now that we're 9 months or so into this COVID-19 pandemic, I believe my stance is that we need to go back to work and go back to life as usual. And if you feel you need to take precautions, do it. If stores require you to wear masks and things like that, then by all means do it. If you don't feel comfortable, or you're at risk and don't want to get together for Thanksgiving and travel and do all those things, whether it's air travel or by car or whatever, and you don't want to be exposed, then by all means take those precautions and don't go do those things. And I think you should do the same thing regardless of whether it's COVID, the flu, cold, or other contagion type sicknesses or illnesses that you might think you're going to get. This is just a little bit different, but I think we're learning, and we've learned a lot about how to handle with it and how to deal with it. So moving on with the Christmas music aspect, I don't know, I'm getting pretty close. We're only 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away.
3 weeks away, I think. And
when speaking to an audience, we try not to say we're learning,
yeah,
as we go.
Well, it might just be a short podcast because we just want to get Christmas music out of our minds and have leeway for other holidays. That's what I think. That's how I think we should do it. Look, you can play music all you want in your own time frame, but when it comes to public radio and retails and other stuff, I don't want to hear that stuff until December 1st, or at least after Thanksgiving.
You can always go to one of the networks that plays the romantic movies all the time, and they're always playing.
Oh, the Hallmarks.
Oh, I can't say who it was.
No, I will say, and I can't stand that freaking TV television. I'm sorry if you like it. I'm sorry if that gives you excitement and stuff.
But James is gonna love Susie at the end, and they're all gonna live happily ever after, while making cookies in a perfect Midwestern.
But we can't work.
But
we can't work. It's just he's so busy, and I have my business, and he's moving away, or he speaks a different language. It's just two different cultures. People are not going to see when I'm like, it's the same. And then you go to the next one, which is like, because it's only like an hour movie, and then they go to the next one and it's the same format. I wonder what's going to happen. She's going to fall in love and he's going to leave. And then they're both going to realize, well, we both still love each other.
That's right.
And then everything's just going to fall.
I wish y'all could see his face while he's doing this.
It's just so,
the two handsome buff guys that are.
It has its place. I understand it, but I can't stand it when it's constant, and that's all Hallmark does.
What if you have a future wife and she absolutely loves that stuff?
Well, then fine, we'll watch it every once in a while, but I can't.
Everything in moderation. That's right. Everything in moderation. Sometimes you have to put yourself into the mood so that you can enjoy.
Would you watch it?
Oh, I have. And mostly because I want to find out what happens to the cookie factory. There's one that I watched, and I have to find out the like you said, the vice president, the 27-year-old vice president of a major advertising corporation
Right.
in New York has to go home for the holidays, which is in like Podunk, Utah, in the mountains, with a perfect cabin and the right, only about 7.5 inches of snow. And of course, it's going to snow on Christmas Day, and they're going to go skiing, and their snowmobile's going to get broke down. And Bud, the logger, is really the guy that she loves from high school, is going to come and save her. But now she's got to take over the Christmas factory and the cookie factory, because if she doesn't, then the cookies won't go on and the elves won't be fed. And how will they ever have the Christmas Day parade and function that invites everybody that has perfect clothing?
Hallmark needs to watch Christmas Vacation and take notes for a wider audience, is all I'm saying.
Yes, because that movie rocks.
Hallmark is also the same company that creates their own Christmas cards, and it's all like, Merry Christmas, we hope it's a warm one.
Something.
And I'm in the comedy section like, here, Grandma, and then like it's something funny.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer or a snowmobile.
That's what appeals to me. So I'm sorry for all you dramatic romances, but I will watch it every once in a while. But I need something to like. Okay, but will that actually happen realistically in real life? And of course, we can have this argument. It's like, well, Elf isn't real either, but you like to watch that more often. It's like, because life, I think, is sometimes funny. It doesn't work out the way it always does. Not like in the romances and drama stuff.
It's not every day you don't get to see Edward Asner as Santa Claus.
But and so maybe we just, whatever we watch, let's just keep it individually and not as a whole group, like, well, let's just watch Hallmark and stuff. So, because in those shows, we can't say that that's always a reality for every person's life. And to me, especially my life, it doesn't always work out the way that I thought.
What Kenny's really trying to say, and he's struggling to actually say, that he appreciates the artistic and theatrical productions of the Hallmark Channel, and wishes that there were actually more channels that were that friendly and that nice to watch without having to worry about what's coming on the screen. I will say that they are clean, so it's kind of hard to see that, right?
But let's put them in a special category that's separated from my viewing area.
Right. I think that your daughter, your dog, wants to be on the microphone so bad.
Yeah, she somehow. So the reason if it sounds like we're preoccupied is because she somehow went into my trash bin, got a paper towel, and shredded while we were talking. And so, like, she got a paper towel, and she knows she's not supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
What? Oh, leave it over there.
He's holding the trash can up, and she's going, "Oh, lunch."
No, she also found a shred of her blanket in there.
She is a threader. She probably would be a seamstress.
Stop it.
If you hear the chime, that's her tail. She's quite the active dog.
We had to take her up here because someone's sleeping, so we didn't want to bother them. So we brought her up here, and she had a bone, and she was quiet for a while.
She shredded the bone.
She ate the bone.
Okay, I'm bored now. What's next?
But yeah, I'm all about Christmas. Like, when it's Christmas, I'm hardcore on playing my own Christmas music. Point at that. It's not always like the Mariah Carey. It's kind of more in the
Boy, that sounded just like her.
Yeah, didn't it? And but I'm all for Christmas stuff when it's that type of season. So again, don't think of me as anti-Christmas or anti-holiday or anti-emotional feely goo guying stuff. But I like to have the way. I don't know. I'm just explaining myself. So if I'm digging a hole, I don't care.
He's so funny.
Um, so I want to think one season at a time. I want to be ready for one season at a time.
Me too. It's deer season right now. So.
And I want Thanksgiving to think of like, oh, we should get prepared on asking people if they want to come over or whatever, or get ready and help out cleaning the area. You don't have to necessarily do any decorations or stuff, but also I would like to maybe use Thanksgiving time to get clothes for colder seasons. Like I definitely know I need like a long sleeve shirt, so maybe I would like to use Thanksgiving time season to think about that stuff and not so much on the Christmas things that are coming soon. What is she doing?
She's got
Lily, come here.
She's got a twisty.
Lily, come here.
Well, you know,
Come here.
like when you close a bread bag, she loves that
Here.
stuff.
Here's
It's
Karen.
funny, and most of the time, we're laughing at the dog. She won't eat, she won't eat and swallow the stuff that she chews
No,
on.
she'll just chew it.
She chews on it like gum, which makes it even funnier. And then she presents it to you like, look, see what I got? Have you seen this today?
Well, I'm glad she didn't swallow it because that thing was kind of sharp. But yeah, that's my whole opinion on the whole Christmas holiday feeling stuff. I'm all for it when the time is at its point. Right now it's November. It's also No Shave November, which I'm not going to do.
You're not.
I'm not doing that.
No,
I'm
I'm
letting my
not.
beard grow.
My hair's already long enough. I don't need to do my beard.
And isn't November also known for something like
The month before December.
No, there's some new trend now that's kind of ridiculous. That's like no quote unquote activity in November.
Like Mambo.
Yeah, the Mambo. Wink, wink, the Mambo.
I've never heard that, and that's not what the law says. Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's something new, and I don't know. They're kind of Lily, get down. She really wants to talk to you. Do you have something up here that's like maybe?
No,
Okay,
she just.
you need to calm down. I don't know how much energy she has because I took her out for a walk.
Yeah.
And then we played I chased
Outside.
her around. We played outside for a frisbee for a good amount.
She's
and
been fed. She's had a
been
bone.
fed. She had a bone. She should be tired.
No, she's like, it's Saturday. What are we gonna do next? Just like you when you were young.
Yeah.
We'd get done doing something for hours, like at the beach or something or other, and get back in the car. We're worn out, going back to the room or something or other, and Kenny goes, "What are we gonna do next?" Mom and I look at each other and go, "Like, are you kidding me?"
Well,
well.
I think that's all the time we have now. If you just continue to comment on our Facebook, what you really thought about the whole question about should Christmas music be played before Thanksgiving. And if you disagree with us, please, we want to hear from you because I want to understand what makes you want to do that far ahead.
I know the next question you can put out there for people to vote on, and we need to really get people's input. And that is, if we do a live event out in the country in a facility, would you come? Yes or no?
Yes.
From Laverne, Smyrna area, it's about 30 to 45 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
Out in the Las Casas area.
Yes, we
But
were.
we've been invited to use a facility out there
Yes.
for a live event.
We were
and
going to have one towards the end of October. Excuse me, October. But there was a problem where there was a bunch of events happening around that day,
conflict of schedules.
and so we're going to reschedule it and hopefully tell you guys when that's going to be. If it's soon, probably not. If December works, okay, maybe not. And if January, probably January, maybe.
He's rambling. My thing is, we just want to find out if you're interested in coming to a live event.
Yeah.
What we might do is for that event, we would come up with a topic of stuff that we're going to talk about. And upon your entry into the facility, we would have you take a little 3x5 card and fill out the answers to your questions of a question we might come up with.
And
that will give us a talking point. But then, of course, we want, maybe have some interaction with the audience.
Yeah. And if you do come and do that survey, your name will be put into a ballot to win a gift card, $25 gift card, brought to you by me. So we'll give you more updates on when that might happen. But we would like your feedback and just be open to see what we want to talk about. Something that you maybe have a question about. We're always open to discussing something that is new, like this. Is Christmas music supposed to be played before then? Is our burgers considered sandwiches? Does Bugs Bunny is Bugs Bunny right on rabbit season, duck season argument? Whatever it is, any weird kind of questions you may have think of, we would like to discuss it.
We'll take fun or serious topics, and we will have a good time talking about it in one way or the other. We will, one way or the other, we will have a good time. So.
Thanks for coming by. I'm Kenny.
I'm Ken. Thanks for coming to Ken's Conversation.